they win.
Unraveling the myths, inaccuracies in cowboy movies. Cowboy movies have always held a special place in American cinema, portraying the rugged life of frontier cowboys, their daring adventures, and the allure of the Wild West. These films have entertained audiences for decades, shaping our perception of this iconic period in history. However, like war movies, cowboy films often sacrifice accuracy for the sake of entertainment and storytelling. In this exploration, we will shed light on some common inaccuracies prevalent in cowboy movies. Weapons and gunfights. One of the most prominent features of cowboy movies is the gunfight, often depicted as a stylized and heroic showdown between two adversaries. However, many films ignore the realities of the Old West when it comes to firearms and gunfights. Firstly, revolvers of the time had limited accuracy and firepower, and reloading was a cumbersome process. Yet movies show characters firing guns with pinpoint accuracy and shooting several times without reloading. Additionally, the myth of the quick-draw duel, popularized by films like High Noon and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, was a rare occurrence in the Wild West. In reality, gunfights were chaotic, unpredictable, and often ended quickly with little fanfare. Romanticizing the quick-draw duel misrepresents the true nature of violence in the Old West, stereotyping Native Americans. Cowboy movies have been criticized for perpetuating stereotypes of Native Americans, often portraying them as savage, violent, and one-dimensional antagonists. These films rarely delve into the nuanced history, rich cultures, and diverse tribes of Native Americans. Instead, they present a homogenized and inaccurate depiction of indigenous peoples, furthering harmful stereotypes. Movies like The Searchers and Stagecoach are examples of films that reduce Native American characters to mere caricatures, disregarding their contributions, traditions, and struggles during the settlement of the West. Women in the Wild West. While some cowboy movies have attempted to portray strong female characters, the representation of women in the Old West is often limited and historically inaccurate. Women played a significant role in shaping frontier communities, contributing as pioneers, entrepreneurs, and ranchers. However, many films depict women as damsels in distress or marginalized figures without agency or influence. Movies like Rio Bravo and The Outlaw Josie Wales feature female characters that rarely reflect the true spirit and strength of women in the Wild West, leading to a skewed and unrealistic portrayal of gender roles during that era. Dueling Cowboys and sense of honor. Cowboy movies often highlight themes of honor, justice, and personal vendettas. While these elements make for compelling storytelling, they do not always align with the reality of life in the Old West. The concept of a cowboy dueling his adversary to settle a score was more fiction than fact. In truth, the frontier was a relatively lawless place, and disputes were more likely to be settled through violence, ambushes, or simply fleeing the scene. Furthermore, the notion of the noble cowboy adhering to a strict moral code is romanticized. While there were undoubtedly individuals with strong principles, the harsh realities of survival often pushed cowboys to make pragmatic and sometimes ethically ambiguous decisions. The diversity of cowboys. Cowboy movies have traditionally focused on white protagonists, overshadowing the diversity that existed in the Wild West. Contrary to popular belief, cowboys were not exclusively white. African Americans, Mexican vaqueros, Native Americans, and immigrants from various countries all contributed to the cowboy culture. Films like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid and The Lone Ranger largely overlook the presence of cowboys from diverse backgrounds, thus perpetuating the misconception that cowboys were primarily white. Cowboy movies are undoubtedly a beloved part of cinematic history, but it is essential to recognize the discrepancies between entertainment and historical accuracy. While these films often capture the spirit of the Wild West, they should not be mistaken for precise historical records. By understanding the inaccuracies and stereotypes present in cowboy movies, we can appreciate them as entertainment while also striving for a more accurate and inclusive portrayal of the fascinating era that continues to captivate our imagination.